Did you miss me? I'm back. It's okay if you didn't miss me. There are literally billions of people on this planet, and I'm only one of them. So, statistically speaking, I'm kind of insignificant. But, my name is Jeff Brown, and welcome to another episode of Music on the Rocks, the show where I play a little bit of music and drink a little bit of whiskey, and today I'm really only doing one of those things, because reasons. But before we get to that, let's talk a little bit about last week. Last week, Wednesday was coming where I typically release an episode of mine, and I had a song already and I had some whiskey ready, and then I just realized that I was not in the right headspace to be entertaining or creative. Because you know what's more important than music and whiskey? And that's mental health. Because mental health is health. And I think it's important to be aware of yours and to be mindful of that whenever you can. And besides, I thought to myself, well, next week I'll make it up to everyone and it'll be great. And then I discovered something important. And this will be an educational moment where I learned about something called a subungual hematoma, which is a condition where blood pools underneath a fingernail or toenail, and it's usually as a result of a traumatic injury. And I found this out because I got one. And it turns out that while I can move my thumb without much pain, it means that, my thumb is not broken, which is awesome. However, it super sucks because all of this blood pooling underneath my thumbnail means that the pressure and swelling makes it very difficult to do things like touch or put any pressure on it or hold things, which, is basically what my thumb do. So, it means that I can't finger pick and I can't hold a guitar pick, so, my abilities to play guitar are pretty much relegated to thinking about it. So, there's no music today. However, what we do have is a very special whiskey, coming to you courtesy of Woody Fincham, who has been responsible for a lot that goes on in this channel. You may have remembered him from a couple episodes back where he played with me, and you may have remembered from several other episodes before then where he provided some whiskey for me. Woody's a good dude. Now, as part of our bourbon extravaganza this past October, we went to the Buffalo Trace Distillery and we selected a barrel out of many. And this comes from barrel 333 from, I believe it was Warehouse B. Don't quote me on that because I don't remember. But I do remember it was barrel 333 because it was half evil. And Buffalo Trace has hundreds of thousands of barrels, and each barrel based on where it is in the rick house and how full it is and the conditions of that particular barrel, how much it gets sloshed around, etc., 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 have very specific flavor profiles. And what happens is that you get the master blender that comes in and samples from all these barrels and takes them all and puts them into a very specific mix where you get exactly what you expect from a bottle of Buffalo Trace. For years and years and years, Buffalo Trace, they have their flagship bourbon, and you know exactly what it's going to taste like because of how this master blender works. Which is awesome, because Buffalo Trace is a super solid bourbon. But if you take the individual barrels have a lot of unique characteristics. And this one just happens to be the one that we landed on. So today, because I can't play guitar because of my thumb, and no, I'm not going to show you because that would be mean. And if you really want to see, you can go Google subungual hematoma, but don't actually do that because Google searches can get gross real quick. Today, instead of all that, we will be sampling from this amazing bottle of Buffalo Trace Single Barrel Select, courtesy of the Finchams Veritas ad Velorum, which, if my Latin is not failing me, means value from truth, which, you know, I gotta say, checks out because my friend Woody is an appraiser, and if I had my house appraised, I would very much want value to come from truth. So, well played, sir. And speaking of well played, this was a very, very deftly selected barrel. So my friends, you know what you expect out of a bottle of Buffalo Trace. Now this is going to be a little bit different because this is unique to this specific barrel. As always, my friends, be well, be safe. Don't smash your thumb. You need your thumbs. Cheers. All right, so from the nose, you're getting a lot of apple, and then a lot of that, you know, thick caramel. That little bit of toffee. Not a lot of wood, not a lot of spice, but it's kind of like a caramel apple. Not so bad. You get waves of that sort of buttered toffee and warm spices, because you can. It's definitely got that rye tingle to it, but it's not an aggressive spice. It's a very warm, enveloping spice. It's got such a nice, thick feeling to it. It coats your palate, but it doesn't overpower. It's a very, very nice. It's an assertive bourbon, but you know it's not aggressive. But yeah, you get that toffee, and then you get the spice, and then it just kind of goes over and over again. And you know, this is very, very pleasant, and then the finish just kind of lingers on because of that hearty mouth coating. You know, one of the things that I love about Buffalo Trace is that it's such a versatile bourbon. You know, you can have this neat. You can have this as part of a cocktail. I've had a couple old fashions out of this, and it's nice that the cocktail doesn't overpower the bourbon, and the bourbon doesn't overpower the cocktail, which can happen with other sorts very, very easily. But this just, it's so versatile. It melds itself into a lot of different stuff without being too bourbony. But man, Woody, you picked a very, very good barrel, and I was very honored to be a part of this adventure. We should do more of these adventures. I have a feeling that we will. And thank you for being along for this journey, all of you. I am sorry that this week could not include some music, but hopefully by next week my thumb will be into a point where I can make some more music for all of you. We can enjoy a little bit of music and a little bit of whiskey together, as I have been doing my best to do for almost every week for over 2 years. My friends, be well, and I will see you all next week.